Okay, today we're solving some equations. You know it's an equation when you have the equal sign. The steps to solve equations. The first thing you have to do is simplify each side one side at a time using your order of operations. And in this case, the order of operations, in all cases, order of operations starts with parentheses. So we're looking at a problem. And on this side, you notice we have these parentheses, so we need to get rid of them. Because we have this 5 attached to the parentheses, we're going to distribute it through. Remember that there's a coefficient right here, which is a 1. So I'm going to do 5 times 1x. So 5 times 1x, which is 5 times 1, which is 5x. And then I got a 5. And in this case, I'm going to multiply it times a negative 3 because I want the sign to be attached to the number to the right of it. So 5 times negative 3. A positive times a negative is a negative, so minus, and 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, so this side, that's all I can do. These aren't like terms anymore because one's got an x, one doesn't. And then I move to the other side. And in this case, I've got more terms, more things, and I still have to do my order of operations, which is parentheses first. So I'm focusing in on just the 6 times the x minus 2. Remember, I still have the 1 in front of the x. So I'm going to go 6 times 1x. So 6 times 1x. 6 times 1 is 6. And I have an x attached. And then I'm going to go, I'm not done with my parentheses, so it's 6 times a negative 2. So 6 times negative 2. Positive times a negative is a negative. 6 times 2 is 12. And then I have this negative, this minus 2x just sitting off to the end, and I'm just going to bring it right down. Okay, then order of operations after parentheses, you have exponents. We don't have any exponents in this problem. And then it's multiply and divide, which we don't have any of that either. And then add and subtract from left and right. So we're going to be combining our like terms. And in this case, like terms, remember, have to have the same variable and the same exponents on the variable. So I have a 6x here, and I have a minus 2x here, which is like a negative 2x. So 6 minus 2 is going to be 4. The x's are going to stay the same because it's still a like term. And then I have this minus 12 that I'm just bringing down. Okay. So the first thing I've done is I've simplified the left side down to 5x minus 15. I've simplified the right side down to 4x minus 12. And now I'm going to go from there. So I notice in my problem I have x's on both sides of the equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the x with the lowest coefficient, which in this case is the 4x, because 4 is smaller than 5. And I'm going to move it over to the other side. And the way that I move things over to the other side is I write the term right beneath itself, so 4x. And I need to make it the opposite. So currently there's no symbol here, so it's a plus 4x. Opposite of plus is a minus. Whatever I write on this side of the equation, I have to write the exact same thing on the other side. So minus 4x here. Okay? So then the next thing with this is I'm going to combine my terms downwards. These two are like terms, so I put the minus 4x right underneath the 5x. So 5x minus a 4x is just 1x. In math, a lot of times we don't write coefficients when they're equal to 1 because it's the letter by itself. I'm going to leave it in here for right now. Okay? This has nothing beneath it, so I just go minus 15 equal sign. Now 4x, a minus the 4x is equal to 0, so I usually put my 0 right there just to remind myself. And then a negative 12, there's nothing with it, so it goes right there. Okay, so I'm getting fewer terms. It's getting closer to where I have the letter all by itself. And now I'm looking at the stuff, and I look on the side with the letter. There's no letter here. There's a variable here, so the side with the letter. Anything that's added or subtracted, I need to move to the other side. So in this case, I'm subtracting 15 from the x. So I'm going to write the minus 15 right beneath itself. And I have to, yet again, make it the opposite so that it'll move to the other side. So the opposite of minus is a plus. Whatever I write on this side of the equal sign, I have to write the exact same thing on the other side of the equal sign. Okay, I've got my like terms lined up. So I'm going to just combine my terms down. I just have the 1x. And in this case, I'm just going to write x. Negative 15 plus 15 is just a 0, so they're going to cancel out. And I have my equal sign. And negative 12 plus 15 is a positive 3. And the x is all by itself, so I don't have any coefficients that would need to be divided out or divided on both sides. So here's my answer. x equals 3. And if I wanted to check it, I could go back to my original problem and put a 3 in for x, and I should get both sides to equal the same thing.